Okay, what is going on with this teen takeover thing that the young kids are participating in? Let me tell you, when my mom said something about teen takeover in Florida, I was like, I need to find out what's really happening with it. So we're gonna talk about that today, and we're gonna look at some of the things that we did back in the day. Is it comparison, or what do you think? But remember, everything I say on this show is strictly informational purposes and alleged. So let's get in this conversation. Now, listen, this team takeover thing seems to be taking over. Everybody is talking about it because some people are afraid and nervous about it, and some people are feeling like, hey, it's just kids being kids. What do you all think about it? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share my channel, okay? As for me, when I first heard about the team takeover thing, I'm like, Lord, anytime you get a bunch of young adults, children, their minds are not all the way developed yet, and talking about some team takeover, it's gonna be some cray cray stuff going on. Do y'all agree with me? Now we understand that every generation has their thing, their vibe that they do and have done. I mean, everybody has their own vibe. We had it. Young adults have it nowadays. The flower days, whatever they called it back in the day, had it. Everybody has their thing, they vibe going on, right? And to them, it's the hottest thing ever, right? So for me, when I was in Florida, we always look forward to what we call Black Beach. When we go down to Daytona, you and your girlfriends, you put on your cute little bathing suits, a short sets, walk the beach, looking cute, cute. You've been planning for this for the longest, right? The guys are down there, they have the big snakes on their necks, and you try to go up. Some of them have the yellow ones, some of them have the different color ones, and they were big, thick snakes they would have on, right? And you couldn't wait to go up as a girl and touch it. Me, I was always afraid, do not like snakes, so I wouldn't participate. I would look from afar. But you have some girls that would actually get the snakes and put it on their necks and take pictures, right? The boys just thought they were the hot stuff walking down the street. You have a group of guys hanging out with their nice cars and their homeboys drinking they drink, doing they do, and just having a good time. I mean, you even think back in the day, my uncle them used to hang out. They used to have things in the park, and they used to have my uncle always say, nobody does funk like Rick James and a lot of those groups. I don't know them all, but he would say the funk. You got to have a funk in you. So everybody has their thing, right? So I try not to detach myself too much from, okay, I was a kid one time, right? So when I heard about this team takeover, I was like, man, when I lived in Florida, we looked like I said the Black Beach. And then you had Bike Week that happened down in Daytona. Everybody who rode different motorcycles were there, and they were designed and customized and all of that. The motorcycle days down there, and they still have that as a matter of fact. When people go down and ride their motorcycles from all over down to Daytona, right? And people just would go and have a good old time. And me, I used to hear like Florida when I used that was the main thing, Black Beach, right? And all races had their own little things on the beach, but everybody did something different. Also, don't forget in the A where I'm at now, it was Freak Neat. Everybody, anybody from Atlanta, even if not from Atlanta, knew about Freak Neat. Freak Neat had some things going on in Freak Neat. I forget when I first, let me just say this. I remember when I first came here, I had to see what the Freak Neat was all about. I had children and all that, so my mindset was a little different, and I was a young parent, but I still wanted to know what was happening. So I went down there with my husband. Y'all know it ain't the same as going with your girlfriends and stuff. But we went down there and it was Bucky Wild. I'm that fit. It was Buck Wild. But people was having a good time on the cars. The girls be dancing and people be doing they do and just having a good old time, right? And it was like college students get together, just regular people get together, mixing. But in addition to the fun, there's always some drama, right? Anytime you bring a whole bunch of young adults together, it's crazy. It's just you got personality. Somebody step on somebody's shoes. Somebody looking at somebody's girlfriend wrong. It's crazy. But my biggest thing nowadays, they have this thing called teen takeover. It's like it happens in different areas, right? And I'm thinking now from a mother's standpoint and even a grandma's standpoint. Okay, like, child, that's not a good environment. And I was like, I shouldn't have been doing that. But can you deprive your kids from doing those things? Let me show you some of the pictures of this teen takeover thing now. And I can admit that it is compared to back in the day, but it is a slight difference. Take a look. Take a look. But look at this part. Short video. Okay. Now, I'm assuming this is a teen takeover kind of event because when you look at the people there, they're young, right? And you got people want to hit guys, want to hit girls. I mean, this is my thing. This is the difference in the two. When I look at some of the pictures, okay, I have not been to a teen takeover because I'm well beyond that. I have grown kids, okay? So I'm well beyond that. But as a grandma, having my children participate in events like that would be darn scary. It would be scary because the atmosphere these days and the things that's going on with all the racism and the culture issues and a lot of the issues with the police and stuff like that, I would not, it seems like an environment that sets your children up for failure. Like as a parent, like most parents are responsible. Can't say all, never for nothing, but most parents are responsible. But our kids sometimes be steps ahead of us. Like they want to go to their girlfriend house or their guy friend house, and they be like, "Mom, can I stay over?" You be like, "All right, let me talk to the parents." Talk to the parents. They coming over. Next thing you know, they think the parents think that they going to the mall. They going to teen takeover because you know why? Parents don't be knowing nothing about no teen takeover happening. And when I look at the events, like Black Beach, we will have volleyball nets up. We will have music playing over here. People be cooking. Now it look like people just walking down the street in the middle of the street, and they did that down. They were walking the street too back when my day, but they walking in the middle of the street, down the street, it's on their cell phones talking, and then people get rah rah when you get a whole bunch of people together, especially young adults. So even though it is a comparison, like back in our day, people would be in the parks, you would be cooking out, listening to music, having a good time. I don't see nothing they doing, but taking over, coming and being in the way for average people traveling and walking down. You have some people that are visiting certain cities on vacation. They can't really go and have a good time at the beaches or nothing because you got a whole bunch of people, young adults down here talking about teen takeover, teen takeover. You're like, what the heck? What's gonna go on if I go down there? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it is a difference in what they're doing through my eyes now. You ask them, it's cool, but through my eyes, there is a difference. And I don't think with the culture of the police right now and this ICE stuff and the environmental issues that people are dealing with all the racism and things like that, I think it's a setup for failure. And I don't think any responsible parent would allow their children to be in that environment. What do y'all think? Y'all think I'm being a little old school too much, or am I making any kind of sense? I mean, if you're going to have an event like this, quote unquote, teen takeover, police should be already present. Once they hear about it, if a mayor hears of something like this going on, it needs to be something that's permitted where people have to get permits and they have to have somebody that's over these events and have insurance. And because you sometimes have people where it's a lot of people like that, someone gets trampled, hurt, they can lose their lives. It could be a whole bunch going on. So if it's an event like this, because from what I'm understanding that these events are set up via social media. Okay. It's like a social media thing somebody set up, and social media will be spreading the word like a mofo. So it's like that's how people know about it and where to go and what's going on. But to me, there needs to be some organization to it. If a mayor or a sheriff get a win of a teen takeover in a certain area, they need to have police presence there. They need to have, if it's not permitted, they need to make sure that this thing is not assembled unless there's events going on for people to go and stop and visit certain booths and just have something organized for kids to be there, not just walking around and you know doing their thing, and sometimes they're not old enough and all that stuff. And then not to mention when their minds are not developed, it don't take nothing for them to fly off the handle and somebody get hurt. So in my opinion, I think it's team too much. I say no to team takeover unless it's organized and permitted. And that should be something the states and the cities, wherever these events are happening at, need to be more on top of it. Because me personally, I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Freaknik days used to be permitted. I could be wrong. And I think that they used, because there are certain sections of the event that people had people performing and stuff like that, as well as the Black Beach and things like that. So I don't know. I wasn't an organizer of the event. I was just a participant, but I know there be some things going down, you know, at the event. So I personally think they need to be more structured. They need to be organized. There should not just be a team takeover where people coming out on social media. And if there is wind of it, that they need to have people of authority step in to disassemble and not allow it unless somebody's going to get permitted and have insurance. Because just to show us my name is what it is, if you have a bunch of people like that together, it's a problem waiting to happen. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this. Let me hear what you think. But I need y'all most of all to subscribe, because y'all will look at it, view it, and not subscribe. I don't know why. Like, hit the button. It's real easy. Subscribe to my channel. Let people know, and let me know what you think about the team takeover thing. If you think it's a good thing or a thing that should be out the window.